Akshay, I remember back in the days when GDPR took the world by storm. There was a period when everybody had suddenly realized that they had only a couple of months to comply and the fines were huge and so on, right? So in order for our listeners and common customers to probably avoid this kind of a scenario, maybe you can throw some light on what are the timeframes that organizations have to comply with DPDP and how would they go about it?
So unfortunately, we don't have a specific time limit that we know as of today. The government is supposed to notify when the act comes into force, which has not happened yet. But based on sound bites from the different ministers, it may be less than 12 months. GDPR had a lead time of 2 years. The act was passed in 2016 and the companies had a 2-year transition period, which is not likely to be the case in India. And the reason for this is the government feels that there are enough data protection laws around the world which companies might already be compliant with, so they don't need a lot of time to comply with the Indian Act.
So does that also mean that there is an overlap between the requirements of DPDP with other privacy regulations across the world?
There are quite a few compliance requirements that overlap. For example, maintaining processing activities records. That is the starting point for compliance with many acts, which will also be the starting point in India. You do need to protect personal data like every other act in the world. So data breach is dealt with seriously. You have to process data with legal basis, which is the same in other countries. Individuals, like in every other country, have certain rights, right to access the data, correction, erasure, etc., which is the same case under the DPDP. There are some slight variations, but more or less the framework is the same. If there is a large amount of data being processed, you fall under a special category with certain additional obligations, which is not very different from other acts which place stricter rules considering the sensitivity of data process. So there is quite a bit of overlap. At the same time, there are also differences under the Indian Act which the companies need to be aware of.